Stop that, nigga. Stop. Hey.
Damn.
Kuza. I don't think I stopped this recording, eh? Nope, it's still recording. Oh, bloopers. Oh, yes.
I wanna be gone too soon. I wanna live.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Taff, back like I never left, and with me today, almost pro athlete, the man on the block, fresh out 263, straight out of graduation. Anyway, we have Tinashe Muchena, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say hello to the people. And this is about the time where you say your name and hello. Like, why would you just do this?
Oh man, don't play. Cool dude. What's good, everybody? Tinashe Muchena here. Again, straight out of the 263. Recently graduated. Almost pro.
Tell them.
Draft day next week. Tune in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's live.
So I'm gonna turn a bit here.
It's live.
A large home appliance built as be taking all the space.
Hey man, gotta make me an area code out here, boss.
I'll give you that one.
I'm owning it.
Anyway, so we're just gonna get into it. A little bit of background information. I've known this fridge of a person since 2012, right? 2012.
Yeah.
We've had our ups, our downs, our hops, our steps, our clashes, but here we are, reunited in the +1 of the United States. Then we're just gonna get straight into the interview, and so that we can actually give people an actual understanding of the big things you're doing. So you came to the US in 2018, correct?
2017.
2017. Yeah, you actually came to the US in 2017. You landed at Lindenwood University.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us what happened when you got here, what you came for, your major, and etc.
So came down here on a rugby scholarship. Initially, I was trying to get a track and field scholarship, but I was a bit on the heavier side to do high jump, and they asked me to lose weight, and I was like 18 at the time. So as you can see, it wasn't going to work out too well. And then rugby was a viable option out here. Got a scholarship for that one. Came down and studied interactive media and web development, but emphasizing graphic and web design.
All right.
Freshman year was weird. Didn't get to do as well as I wanted to, due to the fact that I wasn't physical enough. That came about.
You weren't physical enough?
I was not. Well, I mean, I was physical enough. It's just I didn't have the mass to back.
Oh, to back up the physicality.
I wasn't working out too hard. The Americans have some big boys out here.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them boys.
Big boys out here.
Right.
Sophomore year went well. Won a couple of awards. Got ranked nationally, and that was pretty dope.
All right.
Then junior and senior year were a wrap. I got most valuable forward of the conference, all American statuses and all that. So, we're sitting here now. A couple of days away from the big one, and it's nerve-wracking for sure.
All right, so prior before we linked up this past weekend, you were actually at the Combine. Obviously, it's like the NFL. What do they call the rugby league? I don't know.
They were calling it the Rugby Showcase, but it's basically a Combine.
All right, and the league that you're about to get drafted into, is it, what is it?
Major League Rugby.
Major League Rugby.
Yeah, MLR.
MLR. All right. Major League. Thank God it's Major. Someone had to do it. Hey,
I was thinking it was all about
me. So you gave him the Combine, and you have a couple. Obviously, you're doing your thing. We've seen you play. We will tag a couple links about it. This man is an absolute beast on the field. He's all cuddly, and I'm letting me roast him and whatnot on camera because you're all watching. But in reality, he's actually a beast. So you went to the Combine. How many other athletes were there?
We're about 80 of us, I think.
80?
82, something like that.
And how many teams are in the MLR?
12 currently, 13 by next week because they're adding one more team to the league.
Is that
expansion
right?
team, yeah.
So the 8, did you feel some type of pressure going into it? How much? What preparations did you have to do? Is any different from the preparation you do for a regular game and your regular season? Than for
it was vastly different. I mean, yes, it was split into two portions. There was the physical testing, and then there was the skills and rugby-related drills. So that part of it was more like muscle memory. We've done this all our life type of thing. I had to learn how to do a 40-yard dash. Never done that one in my life.
Oh yeah.
The owl drill, the vertical leap came naturally. Bench press. So it was a full-on combine. You actually have to practice the different techniques to get the reps out of it.
So. The vertical leap. You were quite the bunny rabbit back in Iceland.
Yeah, the vertical leap was. I was at home with that one. I was smiling before that one. I knew I was cooking something.
Like, this is where I'm at. This is where I show you.
This is what we do.
All right, so going back to your high school career, just we're going to rewind a little bit. You did track and field. You did basketball.
Yeah.
You did rugby. And you made the national team for all of them, representing Zimbabwe in all three. Which sport, for a start, did you enjoy playing for your country for the most?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Our ball was heavy.
Really?
Our ball was, it was a different vibe.
It's very true. It was a different. Basketball is just different. But what made it different? Obviously, like, basketball definitely didn't have the same funding as rugby.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so what made it better?
It was more to do with just the teammates and the sport itself. I didn't expect much of myself from basketball because I was more athletic than actually a skilled basketball player.
Right.
So it was just me going out there and actually having fun with the sport and not feeling pressure to really perform as well as I need to in any essence. With rugby, you know, there was always the pressures. That's your lane.
Right.
Track and field is more singular pressure. If you mess up by yourself. With basketball, it's a team sport that you can really enjoy just to enjoy it.
Would you say because there's less numbers is why it was probably better? Because I mean, with rugby, you have to get along with at minimum 7, maximum 15 people at a time.
Yeah.
With basketball, it's 4 people on the court.
I don't know. I don't think it's a matter of numbers. I think it's just a matter of the game itself that was just very. I don't want to say likable, but it felt like you could unite. You could actually relate to your teammates a little more, and they expressed themselves and their personalities on the court more than any other sport. I think.
True. I do agree with that one.
Yeah.
All right. So was rugby always your favorite sport, or what is rugby like? Oh, was rugby? So it was never your favorite sport. It was never your passion. Would you say you have a passion, has a passion grown now that you realize that can actually turn this into some coin?
So it was never my sports because my dad played it, and he was really good.
The legendary Willard.
Right.
Willard
so because
Muchena.
he played,
Right.
whether he knows it or not, but I'm sure he did. Indirectly, there was the pressure of having to produce the same level he did. Always.
What the player? Man.
Right.
Oh
and
my
everyone
God.
would tell me, "Oh yeah, your dad was good. Your dad was good. You did this, you did that," and I'm like, "Oh well."
Shit, I told you that.
Looks like I suck. This is the case. And I was a slow bloomer as well. I didn't have the physical and athletic talents early on, so that kind of caused a little friction in my relationship with rugby. But as that grew and the athleticism set in, and then the hard work and skill came in, and then my dad was like, "Bro, you're your own player. Go and play." I kind of started enjoying rugby a little more after that.
So, what role did your dad play? Obviously, he had Did you ever feel some type, like, for lack of better term, it's a strong term, but let's not make it as strong. Some sort of resentment towards him because of the constant comparisons that were happening throughout your high school career. Even now, people still like I just said it. Like, would you say there was you felt some type of towards him at some point in your life? Or?
Never that. He was always in my corner. The thing was, I just felt like maybe I couldn't handle the expectations or pressures.
Right.
That was the main thing. It wasn't more like, oh yeah, my dad did it, now I can't like him because he's screwing up my career and whatnot. Now he was always in my corner, so it's never that. Yeah.
So always in your corner. Would you say that also helped you become a better player, or this has helped you more on the mental side of things?
He helped me more to be a better player because he would always scream out instructions from the sidelines or expose me for walking on the field or whatever it is. So it was good to have a guy with the knowledge to back me up like that. Right. Mom was on the side of the mental, and it's okay, you've got this, you did well, even though I played horribly type of thing. So, yeah.
So the mix was, the perfect mix, basically. You had the guy who would tell you what it was and how it was.
Yeah.
And then you had someone, obviously, because sometimes, as human, you're still human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like people forget that because you're this huge 6'3", 200 and whatever, and a fuck ton of kgs on your body, that they assume that there is, sometimes people forget, like even I sometimes forget, like you see in the way we play basketball. How do you handle that? Like people automatically assuming that you're this big invincible guy and you should never feel pain, you should never get sad, you should just always, do you ever feel like there's pressure to that, or if so, then how do you handle it?
Well, there's always pressure. Pressure at a certain stage is going to be mandatory. Right. You know, especially if you're playing collegiate sport at a high level, there's always the expectation and pressure as well. So my biggest thing is I release in various ways. Music, I'm always bumping tunes.
Right.
I have a short memory. I will forget things and move on to the next thing really quickly. And I'm also very calm, so that helps out a lot.
Calm? Yeah. Calm as he is right now. Won't talk personally. Alright, so back to fast forward to today. You're getting a lot of teams talking to you, emails, decisions are coming.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
Obviously you can't expose what teams are interested in you on camera.
No.
Can you at least tell us the number of teams that are interested in you that seem promising and showing a genuine interest in you?
I'd say 4 are promising. I've heard some really good stuff from 4 of them, and then the teams I've reached out and just inquired and just had a chat with me, that would bump the total up to 8. So.
Good. All right. So of the 4 that's actually showing real interest, can you say the state?
Yeah, why not? Texas and Utah.
How many teams are in those states?
3 and 1.
3 and 1.
Yeah, from there you can Google and make sure. The investigators.
Obviously, this is the pressure because this is big. Drafts. When people hear drafts, they're thinking NBA and NFL.
Yeah.
But also, it's a different sport, so this is pretty big. Like you said, there were 80 athletes, and how many people get drafted?
39. 3 rounds.
Yeah, so 50. Over 50% of the guys there are going home.
There's some athletes who were in the draft who didn't show up to the combine as well. So there are more people who have registered.
Oh, so it's more that registered than the people that actually showed up. So that even makes it all more precious. At the beginning of the interview, you're saying about to be pro athlete. That's a copious amount of confidence for you to say that, knowing that the draft hasn't even come yet. So what's giving you the confidence? You're not nervous at all? You're not nervous that you might not get picked up? Or
nerves are there. Nerves are always there in these situations because you don't know where you're going to go. A, B, you've kind of indirectly worked your whole life to get here, and you're like, oh wait, this could actually mean something. So that nerve will come in as well.
Right.
But also preparation gives you a certain confidence you can't fake.
Okay.
Right. So I've prepared myself. I've done the work early. At this point, I can't do anything else. Just sit and wait. So if it doesn't happen, it is what it is.
Right. So I was thinking, we went out Saturday because we haven't seen each other since 2019.
Yeah, it's been.
And your tolerance is not as high as I remember. If anything, you're a baby now. So, so is that towards rugby? Is this special preparation that you did to the combine or no?
Yes, there's definitely special preparation I had to do because, again, there were things in the combine I'd never done before. So I had to talk to my strength and athletic performance coach at school, told him the layout of the whole thing, and we actually started working.
That's cool. So those two are willing to help you even though you had graduated?
Yeah, I talked to my coach, Matt Matau. Follow him on Instagram. Good stuff on him.
Matt who?
Matau.
Matt Matau.
Yeah.
Follow him on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's dope. So we planned it out 4 weeks in advance. So we had a dietary plan in place, mobility plan, and a workout plan. And we followed it to the T. So, yeah.
And also, we used a similar trainer back home, Mudu.
Yes, sir. FA Athletics, bro.
FA Athletics. And you still, till this day, reach out to him to ask certain things.
Yes.
What role do you think he played in your success today?
He exposed me to a whole different side of preparation and just performance that I never thought of, right? Before him, I would go to the gym, bench press, tricep dips. We're trying to fill up the sleeves, fill up the shorts, and though it helps in a way, but even though it's a minuscule improvement, doing the functional training with him helped a lot because it was actually more related to the sports and the movements. And also had great advice with recovery and keeping your body in order. So,
that guy,
yeah.
When you told me his age, I was like, hey, no.
Dude,
he looks like a teenager.
Bro,
he looks like a teenager. He's damn well halfway through his life.
He is dope.
All right. And obviously, I'm going to make the whole entire episode about rugby because you have other aspects of your life. Let's go to the professional side. You graduated with a degree in IT, focusing with obviously web design and design.
Yeah.
And you got a full-time job right after at a big marketing company.
Yeah.
How's that been? You just started. You've been there for about 2 months now, if I believe.
3 months.
3 months now. How's that been handling with basketball and I'm not. Why am I saying basketball? With the rugby and the job. Is that a good balance? Is that something you feel like the school prepped you for, or is it more intense because the job is if you actually mess up the job, you can't retake the job next year?
Right. It's actually no different to school, right? You go to school in the morning, or your classes, and then you go to your sports in the evening, or you go to sports in the morning.
Right.
It's the same thing. You wake up 9 to 5, go work out in the evening, or go practice in the evening. Not too different in the aspect of academics, sports, but obviously a lot more intense because now you're dealing with real people and real orders and real money, like lots of money on the order. Like you can't mess up too much with it. So
any like big clients you've worked with that you can mention?
I've worked with Plaza BMW and Mercedes Benz as well.
Oh, really?
So
Mercedes Benz here in the US, like in Missouri, or
the one in Missouri,
like the headquarters. Not them, like one of the big offices.
The big dealerships.
That is insane.
Yeah. It was a fun project. So
Look at you. Big things on both ends.
We're doing it, man.
Who said you can't do it all?
Computer nerds, you get me?
Tell them.
Yes, sir.
So what laptop are you using with your big ass? Like, I'm pretty sure they also want to know. Like, what are you using?
So the crazy thing is, my personal laptop is a Lenovo IdeaPad. Is it 1500 LP?
Right.
Which is what I got in freshman year. So it's not the craziest design thing, but it works.
Right.
Luckily at work, they got me a proper Gigabyte machine. The company's called Gigabyte, I don't know why. But it's a really good, it's like a gaming computer, but works well for design. 3 split screens. So I've got big ass
monitors. So you've got the proper setup and everything.
Yeah, I got a setup. Okay. I'm not using
You see the way you're smiling when you're doing your setup. So is there like more of a passion too with the design thing?
Design is a passion. Design and IT combined together were a good degree for me because I enjoy both. So
that's actually a passion.
It's a passion. I go to work and I'm happy.
So you got the best of both worlds. You got your rugby, which you obviously it wasn't a passion at first, but it's going to be a passion. And you also have a passion in your professional interest. That's a fallback on. Any tips and words to give to obviously the upcoming athletes that are probably watching you right now?
For the athletes, I would say the biggest thing is being prepared. You know, that fake it till you make it thing works in certain aspects, but there's a certain confidence you can't fake when you're prepared. So even if the opportunity doesn't come, I would rather be prepared and it not come than be unprepared and it comes and you have, you're caught with your pants down. Patience is the key as well. I was very impatient. I wanted to get it now, because I felt like I was ready at the time. Be it true or not, the time will come. Just be ready and be prepared.
Be ready and be prepared. All right, and then obviously you have shown a great amount of discipline in order for you to have the sporting side, the school side, obviously the social side that you have to deal with your family being in like another continent with different time zones, the friends, and I'm pretty sure you've probably got a lot of you've changed from your old friends.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of you switched up on us. So how has that been? Like, how are you handling that? And what would you tell the upcoming students? Because they don't necessarily have to be an athlete.
Yeah.
You don't need to be an athlete for you to have discipline. Discipline and priorities are something that everyone should have. So how have you handled it? What would you suggest people to do whilst handling? And how has it affected even your game and everything?
So I handled it by just staying true to myself.
Right.
I left Zimbabwe coming to America for an education and didn't really have rugby as an end goal in sight, but I worked hard at it because it was paying for school as well. The discipline is a big factor, right? You've got more opportunities out here, there are more distractions out here.
Significantly more distractions out here.
A lot.
Good God.
My goodness. Yeah. And maintaining a level head and understanding that, you're going to have to miss out on certain things, have to push the FOMO aside and focus on your goal, because at the end of the day, if you're chasing a goal because everyone else wants you to do it, or you want to shine in front of everyone else, you're going to run out of fuel and ammunition to keep chasing it.
For sure.
It's going to get tough. But if you're chasing it and you really want to chase it, something you want to do, it's a lot easier to stay focused. For sure.
So basically, in a nutshell, the famous parent phrase from Zioza Okafambira.
Standard, yeah.
If you're coming here and if your parents have not said Zioza Okafambira and you're Zimbabwean,
you're not Zimbabwean.
You're not Zimbabwean. That's just the conclusion. You're just not Zimbabwean. Zioza Okafambira. You got onto your plane and you never heard Zioza Okafambira from someone.
Anyone.
Anyone. It can be the uncle. Someone is telling you Zioza Okafambira. Saka Muchena, pro athlete here, is telling you Zioza Okafambira. Anyway, going to that. Has it affected your game in any way? Like the pressures, not the pressures, the dealing with the social side and everything?
Yes and no.
Let's start with the yes. How
Yes, because when you kind of break out and you become that athlete that could potentially make it, then distractions start coming in.
And then the friends all come in.
The friends that are not friends or that are there for the winning season come in. But when it's time to go grind, they're not there, type of thing. So that part kind of affects you because you're like, damn, I want to make this work with this person, you know, be in a good friendly relationship or have a good connection with the people around you. But it's not always going to happen. And I also realize the smaller your circle is, the easier it is to manage these type of things. And that I don't get nervous anymore in these situations. I think the last time I actually got nervous before games or in society after playing sports was probably 2016 when we had that under 20 World Trophy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all guys are your asses handed to you.
Right. We played Fiji and Samoa.
Oh my god.
After that, I was like, bro, it's the same game. It doesn't matter who's in front of you. It's the same game. So
Right.
like from then on,
It's still rugby.
yeah, the nerves are gone.
So it's a lot of putting yourself first, a lot of choosing you over
Right.
a lot of things. That's a big skill to learn at a young age because a lot of people, I know
Don't
people
understand
who
this.
have kids, families, people well in the 40s who only started now to choose themselves. So kudos to you for being able to that. And final remarks for our viewers.
Watch this man's podcasts and everything he's doing. Support the thing, blow it up, you know, so you can start paying me for these type of things. Gotta get some endorsement through it. No. On a real, you know, to everybody watching, chase your goals, be disciplined, and you'll be all right. Tune in, watch these podcasts because they're really good. Shout out to the Giant Baby.
Thank you, kindly.
Watch the draft August 19th. I think it's at 7 p.m. Not quite sure yet, but we'll update you on it.
And if we get the link before we post this one, then we'll put it in the description. If not, it will be on our page. Underneath is in the caption when we post in the poster, and we'll probably update the description too by the time you view this. And thank you for watching. Thank you. Please tune in to the chat room. We're launching a mental health series. It's a 4-part series that will be launched on September 1st. We're trying to tackle the growing numbers of people struggling with mental health, and it's actually becoming such an issue. Actually, that's something I didn't actually talk about. We should actually cut back. We're talking again. How is mental health in sports? Like, is that something that's spoken about? Is that something you've struggled with? Is that something you've seen people struggle with?
Personally, never struggled with it. Don't know why. I would like to attest it to maybe the way we grew up in Zimbabwe and having parents who always, you know, made sure I was secure with myself.
Right.
But I've seen people who struggled with it. I worked as a community advisor at school and had to deal with these situations as well. So I can't really go deep into that because of the FIPA or HIPAA violations.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen mental health become an issue. It's something we speak about, especially on the rugby team. We have people come in and talk to us. We do a no shave November where we all shave and have our mustaches out to raise awareness for mental health.
No shave November, but you shave.
I don't know why, it's wild.
Okay,
but
go
yeah,
on.
we shave when we grow out the stashes. It's one of those things. But yeah, we support mental health because athletes go through it. It's just that we're told to toughen up and play. We were told to toughen up and play. But now we can actually speak about these things and sort these things out and get the time you need to sort it out as well.
So there are the conversation is being had in the rugby community, especially on this side of the world.
Yeah.
And excuse me. What are they actually doing to help in the event that someone is struggling with it? Are they structures? Are they
Support structures for sure.
Do teams offer things like therapy and whatnot, and etc.?
Well, at my school at least, we have people, professionals, counselors who come in and give you the treatment that you need and the therapy that you need, or the listening ear that you need. There is that structure. You're allowed the time off. You know, they make sure you're okay mentally before you come on the field, especially in a sport like rugby. If you're not in it, you're going to get injured.
Right.
So I can speak for my school and say, yes, the structure has been there. And hopefully if things go well next Thursday and as I grow into the rugby community, I can then speak more on what we're doing as a whole community in America.
All right. So obviously, because you don't have experience in it, I'm going to ask you to obviously speak on. You've obviously spoken to people, but you obviously can't get into too much. But would you say the athletes are also people don't take their feelings more seriously? Would you say that's something that happens? Like, do athletes sometimes feel like alone? Because I was speaking to one of the guys at your combine, and he was saying like, dude, the crazy part is everyone just expects you to be all smiles all the time whenever they're around, but they actually don't know that if I don't play well today, I'm also a human who might not actually get my salary, get kicked out, and everything. Would you say people don't really pay attention to mental health in athletes, or the interest has grown over the years?
I think before maybe this Olympics, there wasn't much attention to that, because as an athlete, you're getting paid copious amounts of money to go play a sport that you either like or that you're really good at, and you don't really have to work a 9 to 5 every day to make that money. So obviously the perception is, oh, he's good or she's good type of thing. But in essence, the pressure is real. You know, like most structures will say that it's performance based. Right. So you get your money upon hitting certain numbers or hitting certain times. You get your money according to how well you've played across the whole season. And sometimes you're fighting for a contract, sometimes you're fighting for an extension. There are all these things, you know, boiling up on it. And also you kind of lose your private life, because now you're in the forefront of almost every news page, or you're going to be followed around. Anything you do is going to be scrutinized. So you kind of, you know, it's a weird one. It's a very weird one that people don't really get to see. But I mean, obviously with people like Simone Biles coming out and Naomi Osaka saying, hey, listen, my mental health is first, now we can have the conversation, and I think it's starting to turn around. That's
good. I also like that you mentioned the fact that you lose your private life. Because at the beginning of the interview, I was wondering, I was like, why is this guy switching up? Because I was like, he changed his language, he's doing all that. Is that also something like you have to like learn to do? Is that something you learn like once you're on camera, you're like, okay, what I'm saying right now could lead to me being cancelled.
Right. You have to. It's also the influence that you have, right? You say things, and you've got people looking up to you.
Right.
You've got organizations wanting to see how you deal with publicity and being in the public. You have to answer questions a certain way. These are all things we're coached and trained to do now. So it's one of those. It's automatic now.
It's not just automatic. All right, man. Obviously, I wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir.
Not just as a friend, not just as the podcast, but just me wishing you the best of luck as a fellow Zimbabwean. Like you will probably be one of the first, if not the first, to be played in the MLR.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's history. That's big.
Standard.
That's really big. And I have you in my house right now. I have a pro athlete.
Let him know.
In my house. Thank you for joining. Please tune into the podcast, into the chat room. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's at thechatroom.tcr. And good night.
Houston Sabercats select Tinashe.
Wanna be gone too soon. I wanna live. I got much more to give. I do. I don't